3 weeks down, 4 to go. I'm Andrew Riggle, and he's Nate Krippis. Here's what's coming up and what went down during session this week.
So first things first, social services appropriations update. We delivered comments on Monday in support of numerous items related to DSPD and long-term services and supports like caregiver compensation, dedicated waiting list funding, and funding for the medically complex children's waiver. Voting will take place possibly on as soon as Friday and maybe on Monday next week. So, really, whenever you see this, take your opportunity to reach out to the committee about any funding requests you want them to prioritize. But with that said, even if you don't get a chance to do that and they don't prioritize something high enough, you'll still have a chance to reach out to the Executive Appropriations Committee over the coming weeks.
One quick update from last week. Representative Daley Provost's bill, HB 252, which we told you about last episode, was met with a very positive reception and passed out of committee unanimously. The bill would allow individuals with disabilities on Medicaid to have more income and savings if they have other insurance and pay part of the cost of their Medicaid services. Unfortunately, just before we started recording this, we saw that it had failed on the House floor. We're still trying to learn more, and we'll update you as we can.
So yeah, then on Tuesday of this week, I spoke to HB 162 from Representative Gwynn. It's a signature match bill. Again, this bill just requires a county clerk to have a process for a voter with a disability to tell them their signature won't match because of their disability, so the voter won't be asked about every election. This is required essentially by the ADA, and it's just going to simplify the process. So the committee voted it out unanimously, so we'll keep you posted on where that goes next.
On Wednesday, I was in Senate Judiciary, Law Enforcement, and Criminal Justice, hoping to speak to two bills. Unfortunately, the meeting ran long, so they pushed Representative Stoddard's HB 29 to the next meeting. We'll update you. We'll update you on when it is heard. But I did speak to Senator Kwan's SB 140, which we hope will make it easier for Adult Protective Services to get a court order for records in a case when a person's capacity is limited. We hope 1 benefit will be allowing APS to spend more of its limited time and resources on in-person investigations when they are needed.
And while Andrew was doing that, I was in House Health and Human Services to speak to two bills of my own related to community-based services. First was Representative Ward's HB 242, which would get dedicated funding for the DSPD waiting list for up to 200 people. And then it was Representative Judkins' HB 248, which creates a statewide plan for assertive community treatment teams, which provide intensive wraparound services in the community to folks with serious mental illness. It also seeks funding for MORAC teams, which are very much needed, and both of those bills actually passed out unanimously.
If you remember, we previously mentioned HB 129 prohibited items in correctional facilities from Representative Burton, and our concern that it also could prevent a person in a secure area of a mental health facility from having access to their cell phone or another communication device. We testified about that in committee last week. As a result of that, Representative Cutler reached out to us and expressed his willingness to work on an amendment to address our concern. We provided him and Representative Burton with language that we felt would do that. They both said that they would be willing to introduce the amendment on the floor. However, we have since learned that the section of the code that piece of language is in is planned for redrafting over the summer, and have been asked by the attorney who's going to be overseeing that to hold off on amending the code until that is done. So unfortunately, even though everybody seems to be on board for doing this, we're going to have to probably wait another year actually see it happen. Finally, I spoke to HB 61, which, among other things, allows school districts to apply for part of $25 million to hire school resource officers. Even though the bill makes the role and responsibilities of an SRO clear, we spoke against it because data shows police in schools can disproportionately impact students with disabilities and lead to the juvenile justice system. It still passed. It still passed out of committee unanimously. We do have we are doing a little bit of additional research into the second substitute and may have some additional thoughts or comments for Representative Wilcox in the near future.
Well, that's what came up and what went down. As of right now, we don't actually have any major new bills this week, so we'll keep watching and update you when we do. However, as always, you can follow along on our bill tracker as well as our budget tracker, which are available on our website, disabilitylawcenter.org/public-policy. As always, thanks for watching the DLC's Policy Corner. Again, I'm Nate. He's Andrew, and we will see you next week.